Hello, excuse me, hello people, I will be with you shortly, apologies for the delay. I'm just quickly eating some breakfast and turning the mic off because this isn't a mukbang stream. Okay, sounds good, Goblin. There I am. I'm ready to stream now, kind of. Only 45 minutes late, but... You know, I make my own schedule, so whatever. How's everyone doing this fine Monday morning? A little embarrassed about sleeping through the alarms. It doesn't happen that often, but you know, it happens to the best of us. And thanks for understanding, Iron Elemental. I'm just getting a couple last promotion things going on the old social media here. Guess I can take these out of the box. You can see the total of 3 sub-assemblies. This was the legs were not attached to the body when I airbrushed it, but you know, I stuck them together at this point. Might as well just leave them together. And yeah, I'm kind of winging it with the painting on this one. It's a bit of a more casual project. Should be fun. I've been sitting on the model for a while, waiting for the right opportunity to do it. Okay, that's good. Let's check the other one. Okay, looks like that's good to go. Probably have to go take a bathroom break in like 10 minutes, but that's fine. So let's have a bit of a closer look. Early mornings are tough. I feel like a lot of the time I'm okay with waking up decently early. Oh, good luck getting through your day, Iron Elemental. It sounds a little rough. So this is a just rectangle Warhammer base. It used to be used for my Carnosaur model before I switched it to an oval one. And then here we've got the Orga and Mikazuki minifigures. With the Mikazuki comes with Master Grade Barbatos, and then Orga comes with the Master Grade Barbatos P Bandai expansion, I believe. And the larger rocks on this base are a combination of those decorative like display IKEA rocks called Dyft, like DYFT, that you would have seen in my Conquest video lately. And then there's also some like leftover hunks of green stuff on the base from whatever I was doing to that Warhammer model years ago, so I kind of sliced those up to give them a bit more of a rocky look. And you know, these minifigures, they've got a little like rectangle along their feet where their feet are like actually attached to something, so I kind of had to model the base in a way to hide that, or like glue the sand on there. And then we got our two side guns for the mobile worker. I think there was the option to assemble it with kind of missile pod looking things in the P Bandai set, but you know, these look cooler. And then of course we have the mobile worker itself. Now after I took the pictures to post these, I noticed there was some like mold lines over here that were a little egregious, so I might actually take the hobby knife to these and fix them, because I'm pretty sure these areas I'm gonna be painting a metallic color anyways. And obviously like the underneath of this, it looks all hollow and bad, but like you won't see that in any of the photos, so not really a big deal. So I feel like I should probably, I'll start by getting the hobby knife and just quickly fixing those. Quickly fixing those mold lines. I think the light pulsing I've got going on in the background's a bit more subtle this time. I'm probably just gonna play around with different colors each stream ever since I discovered the function on the holiday stream last Friday with Fiverr. Thanks to everyone who came out to that, by the way. Okay, so we just gotta do a careful little scrape here. And normally I wouldn't do this, but in this case it's fine because these colors are gonna get painted over. And it could potentially create a texture issue because I'm scraping away layers of paint. So we'll have to see how it goes. Maybe we'll need whatchamacallit, some sanding sponges. Hopefully not, though. You can see the base color of the plastic isn't far off from the color I painted it. I guess I could show you that. I like, you know, taking opportunities where I can't use old school paints, so I messily airbrushed on some bubonic brown and snakebite leather. I think snakebite leather was the base. Probably gonna go over, because it was a little uneven with the airbrushing, I'll be going over it again, probably with some dry brushing. Give it a bit more of a haggard appearance, like it's seen some battles, you know, like in the show. And if what I'm doing now doesn't really fix the mold lines well enough, it's not really a big deal because it's not a super visible part. And hopefully the actual painting can just distract from the rest. I did switch the lens on the camera since the last stream, so let me know if the focus gets a little wonky. And you know, just let me, like I say every time, let me know in general if there's any sound, like music or audio issues, video issues, whatnot. And this side's proving a little bit more. There are some more mold lines across here. I could do the similar thing, but I think it's mostly these ones. These are the only parts that I noticed, like in the actual photo, so. That's right, Iron Elemental. I've managed to preserve a surprising amount of old bots. I mean, that's because like every few years I have to go back and rehydrate them and like agitate them a lot. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do first off is some dry brushing. I don't think we could dry brush the guns a bit. Yeah, I think we'll do a combination of dry brushing and edge highlighting. And I'll probably do just a little bit more on the base. We'll start off with the base because that'll be the fastest. Got our Haggard makeup brush. Do we have our white though? No. This bottle of white's almost empty. We got just we only need a tiny bit. But we'll see, we might have to do some mixing on the fly here. Be a bit brighter than that. If this white runs out, I do have more white. Do not fret. Hello, XeroxEXE. Holiday eggnog. Are you having eggnog for your breakfast smoothie? I was at the grocery store the other day and they had oat nog, which wasn't surprising or anything because oat milk's been a thing for a while. I just enjoy the word oat nog. Okay, that's a little. This gray is a little too dark for the base, but this is probably a good enough gray for dry brushing these guns here. Let's give that a shot. Make the camera a little brighter. Yeah, that's kind of the shade I need, I think. I'm gonna have to take this off. The poster tack mounting there is more for when I'm doing the airbrushing or the edge highlighting later. Do have a glove sitting next to me. Guess I should probably put that on, eh? I'm not sure how much of the barrel will end up being gray. It might be, it's probably gonna get painted some metallic colors. But I'll dry brush it a little bit just for funsies. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. Hopefully there's enough paint here. There's a problem with not using the wet palette right away as this paint dries up quick in the dry ass climate that I'm in. It's winter time too, which makes it drier. Okay, we managed to get the airbrush or the dry brushing done we needed on these though. Let's put them back on their corks. Hello, Doodle Bopped. Also, Doodle Bopped and Iron Elemental, welcome to the Patreon Club. I managed to update the name slideshow yesterday, getting ready for the stream that I managed to sleep in too. So you should see your names in there. It's just slightly uneven over here. Okay, now the base needs a slightly brighter gray. Master Grade Barbatos, that's a good first kit there. Iron-Blooded Orphans wasn't the first one I watched, but it was one of the first ones I watched. Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting to this mobile worker model for a while. A little nervous to paint the minifigures. Which you think I'd be like not nervous at all for, considering all the minis I've painted, but I have painted a lot of minis, but I haven't painted like this specific kind of Gundam pilot figure before. At least like they're they're tiny enough that it's like I don't really feel that much pressure trying to paint the eyes. It's like with the usual kind of what you call it, 28, 32 millimeter scale miniatures that most of them are in. Those ones, the faces are big enough where I was like, okay, you probably should paint the eyes, but painting eyes is hard and I don't always get it all the time. But with these ones, it's like, okay, it's small enough now, I don't think I need to try and paint the eyes. Yeah, the gray that I put on these rocks before was a bit of just a really basic zenithal highlight from the airbrush, and it did most of the work already, it looks like. So we're just brightening up a little bit. Probably fill the recesses with black wash when we get around to adding black wash to the model. I've painted a lot of the like basing I've done over the last few years has been like brown and tan, so for this one I thought I wanted to go with gray. We'll probably have some like tan or brown grass tufts I'll put on for a bit of variety. There is some brown of the sand showing through in the cracks there, but I think I'm just gonna have to hope that won't show up on camera. Or maybe I could strategically hide that with some grass. I think that's good for the dry brushing on here though. Now I guess I should probably put the glove on. Do I have tips on someone who wants to start customizing gunpla? Well, if you're just starting, I'd say take baby steps. So like, if it's your first time airbrushing, just focus on doing like a nice even job with the airbrush work and getting and executing some custom colors, and that's it. Maybe some panel lining. Don't overwhelm yourself too much. Would be like, okay, first custom, we're gonna scribe, gonna remove mold lines, apply decals, and do custom colors. Might get a little overwhelmed doing all that for your first time, so maybe like first custom kit, just focus on one custom thing, like the colors, and maybe some panel lining. So that's the main piece of advice that comes to mind there. Yeah, this dry brushing we're gonna have to be a bit more deliberate with. I'm gonna use the really crusty side of this paper towel to wipe up the excess. You can see I was doing a lot of metallic dry brushing on here. If this step goes wrong, the worst case scenario is we'll end up rebase coating the entire mobile worker here. Thank you, Rose. I also enjoyed the Pop-Tart base, or the Pop-Tart project. Oh yeah, what are you customizing, Iron Elemental? So this is gonna be a pretty subtle dry brush, because I'm just dry brushing on a color that was already airbrushed on. Because I can need a bit more though. You painted a big perfect grade strike. Dang. That's no small feat there. Yeah, this dry brushing effect is pretty subtle, but I can see some stuff happening. The next pass is gonna be the more impactful one, because it's gonna be a bit of a highlight. I wanted this to have a bit of a beaten, weathered look, hence why I'm going for the dry brushing. I guess we could almost call this a bit of a stippling as well. The big red sausage, I'll have to keep my eyes out for that one. Doodle was given a master grade Rick Dom. Love the Dom. Classic big chunky design. Yeah, I mean, it depends what you want to play around with. Depends if you have an airbrush. You don't need an airbrush to customize gunpla, but like if you're going the hand painted route, just know it's like the most tedious route. Doing all the sanding is a pain in the ass, and it's gonna take a while, but it's typically worth it. Be aware of like which parts of the model are at risk of paint chipping when you're putting it back together, just moving it around. Rickdoll might be a good opportunity to try some water slide decals. If you think you might like those. Some people really don't like decals, some people do. I don't mind sitting down and doing a bunch of decaling. Most of the time. It gets pretty tedious, but it's not like the same kind of tedious as like sanding. It's a bit more satisfying, and you don't have to wear a mask to prevent yourself from inhaling a bunch of plastic dust, which is always good. If anyone's wondering if I'm going like for complete anime accuracy with painting this, I'm not. I'm just kind of going with like the general same colors as they are in the anime. So like a tan yellow for this, and when I'm painting the minifigures, I'll try and copy their outfits more or less, but I'm not going for like complete completely anime accurate. I just want to paint a little silly little diorama. Okay, now I need to grab a bigger dry brush. Jeez, I grabbed two different off-whites, now I'm trying to remember. Okay, this one was for the gray. We've got here P3 Thrall Flesh. We're gonna mix this with a bit of the bubonic brown. For more edge highlighting business, or dry brushing business. This paint needs a bit of a shake though. Oh, you painted the strike after being inspired by me. Yeah, no, I agree that the water decal process is satisfying. I don't think it's that weird to think that. Pull the dried paint off the rim there. Yeah, well, Rose, you could make one of those dry palettes. I guess I've kind of half-assed made a dry palette by like gluing some sand down to this one in the corner. So you can like wipe off the excess paint on here instead of a paper towel. That's the main way I could think to be less wasteful. In this case, I'm just using a paper towel that's already got so much paint crusted on it, it's not absorbing the paint quite as fast. But I'll admit, it's not the most efficient system. This is a pretty casual painting project, so. Okay, let's see how this works out. Really winging it on this dry brush here, folks. So I can feel this. This needs to be glued back on. It's like rattly. Alright, that's pretty subtle. I can barely even see. I can tell a little bit, but I'm not sure if you could tell on the camera. I'm gonna just go ahead and add a bit more of this here thrall flesh. Yeah, I'll admit, Rose, the dry brushing you're seeing here on this stream isn't my, like, most efficient dry brushing. I'll do the really efficient dry brushing if I have to do, like, a large batch of minis, because, you know, in cases like that, you really want to reduce the amount of time going back to refill the palette and all that. Okay, that's a bit better. Still, this effect's still subtle enough, I'll probably do another pass after. But I'm getting pretty decent edge highlight, or fake edge highlight done here. And a lot of these details will get painted over with the metallics, but you know how the dry brushing's a pretty messy stage, so you gotta do it first. Yeah, I've heard some mixed opinions on whether dry palettes are like useful or not, but they're not that hard to make. They don't really like disrupt or fundamentally change much of the painting process. So like, if you feel like making one and can, then why not? There was some like paint splatters from the some paint splatter errors from the airbrushing process that I can kind of like, maybe not clean up, but like distract from with this dry brushing here. Okay, we'll do just one more pass at the end here. It's like almost pure thrall flesh. Just a really light pass. No problem, Rose. Yeah, and also the type of paper towel you wipe the paint off on makes a difference. Like if it's a really fragile paper towel, then you can sometimes end up with paper towel fibers on your mini, because they'll rub off from the paper onto the brush and then onto the mini. This final dry brush, I'm aiming to really just get a bit more on the edges, and that's it. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. Just I can go to the next scrap of this paper towel here. I'm just trying to get, you know, maximum mileage out of this very, very well used piece. Just gotta spend a bit of time scrubbing off these dry brushes now. So it's always good to keep around the crappy beaten up brushes, because you can probably use them for dry brushing. Oh, these tiny brushes, they sink so deep into the water cup that I have to fish them out and get my hand all wet. Now I'm trying to decide. Now that I'm looking at this base again, I feel like it needs... I think I'm gonna try a bit of this off-white dry brush, because this is the off-white I'm gonna edge highlight the black with. And all my dry brushes are a bit wet right now, so I think I will just grab one more dry brush. But with this one being for the base, we'll use, this is another makeup brush. A nice big one. Only need a teeny tiny bit of paint. Probably just retire this paper towel after this session. This is the nice like blue shop towel, so I don't or I like make it last as long as I can because it's expensive, but it's nice. Okay, that's pretty decent. Yeah. If I dry brush too hard, I'll pull up the sand and reveal the like brown color underneath though, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, that really brings out the details some more. And this part where there's no sand, it like fell off. But that's exactly where the back wheel of the mobile worker goes, so it'll be hidden. Just a tiny bit more. Yeah, this off-white is working out better than a pure white would, I think. Alright. I suppose we could do a bit of this off-white onto the guns as well. I think I will. Gotta make it real subtle though. Yeah, these guns are a little tricky to paint, or a little tricky to hold. Yeah, that's a good dry brush though. Who needs edge highlighting anyways? Not for this project. Maybe it'll look too obviously dry brush now though. I could always go back later. Yeah, like a tiny bit. I went a bit too hard there just now. Try and hold it closer to the camera so you can see what's happening. Wasn't originally planning to have this much dry brushing. I'm just kind of going with the flow here. Okay, now we'll switch over to detail work. I am going to quickly refill my coffee though, so be right back. And I'm back with more coffee. Just getting settled here. Oh, Doodle Bopped, I just saw your message earlier about custom water slide decals from when you and your friends made a fake faction in Gundam Evolution. That's very neat. R.I.P. Gundam Evolution, am I right? Bit of wasted potential there, you could say. I enjoyed playing a bit of Gundam Evolution. I had fun with the gameplay, but the microtransactions did turn me off pretty hard, as they do in many games. Okay, now we're gonna switch over to detailing some metallics. Probably, I think my goal for streaming today is just to hit 2 hours, because I did sleep in a bit. There are other things I gotta do today. But the current plan is to do another stream tomorrow morning, so with the embarrassment of sleeping in for this one, hopefully I don't also sleep in tomorrow. And let's see here. Probably this one for the metallics. The good old taped up Army Painter Regiment brush, still kicking. I used Gundam Evolution for color inspiration. It did have some decent recolors. For our using two kind of out of print metallic colors, we got Dark Iron from Secret Weapon and good old GW Mithril Silver. Pretty dark. Perhaps. Okay, maybe that's just how dark it is out of the pot. I was thinking like maybe the paint separated a bit and that's why it looks so dark. But we got the two shades of silver, so it's cool. Alright, now I decided I want these to be... Oh, let's focus. I want these to be black like actual tires, but there's plenty of details to be given the metallics here, like the part I was cleaning the mold lines on earlier. Let's see. Let me think here. There's a lot of different details that could be picked out, but I don't want to pick out all of them. I think probably this part in between. This is just stream of consciousness color separating that you're witnessing here. Probably put a bit too much paint on the palette, and I'll waste some from it drying up, but that's okay. Alright, now I'll do the matching parts on the other legs. What do you call these legs? Wheels? I guess they look like legs, so I'm gonna call them legs. Feet, perhaps. A wheel is just the foot of a car, right? I should have a brush ready nearby for cleanup in case I make mistakes. And I need to quickly mop them up. Legs with roller skates, yeah. Excuse me. Doodle Bopped is considering doing a pink and white for the Rickdom. And then give it to your GF for a birthday? That sounds pretty wholesome. You should do it. I'm kind of wondering, I think I might actually keep going with the dark iron here and just paint this section too. Ooh, we're a little too thin with the paint there. I'm gonna leave that little tab of the tan color sticking out though. So oh, my paint's way too thin. We're losing control. All right. Now you just copy that on the other roller skates. Which is what I'll call them now. What is this, code gas? I'm wondering if at a certain point if I should just glue this down to the base so I can be handling it from the base instead of like the model like this, because you know, too much handling and I could rub some paint off just with my gloved hand. Probably would be a good idea to do that after I'm done all the like detailing work and I'm onto the washing stage. Okay, now I just gotta pick out all the other details that I want to have. The old metallic colors. I think I do need a slightly smaller brush. Yeah, I think this whole chunk here is just gonna end up being dark iron. But I guess I grabbed the small brush in the first place so I could get in here. I grabbed a smaller brush, but it doesn't have a very good tip, so it's probably about just as useful as the other one. Do I want to paint this circle part though? I think I do want to paint that part with the metallic as well. Yeah, we're just gonna get right in there and just slop a bunch of that on there and spread it around. We'll be covering up a lot of the tan color, but there'll still be plenty to show after. Well, we're past the hour mark, folks. On the topic of anime, just not mecha anime, I've recently started watching Spy Family. Any enjoyers of that in the chat? Blue Parappa, my partner, was been a reader of Spy Family for a while, so I've like been relayed many entertaining bits from that. But this weekend I was finally like, let's just start watching it. And it was very wholesome and entertaining, just like we thought it was going to be. Gus gives me similar vibes to Kaguya-sama Love is War, if anyone watched that anime. Guess we might as well paint the whole axle bit this color too, because it's gonna be mostly hidden. Oh, hi. Okay, no, I was supposed to paint it that color. I was like, did I just paint over a part I wasn't supposed to? Which is this part that I'm painting right now. It's like, no, I decided I was painting this part metallic earlier. If I wanted to go like really ham on this project, I could paint like hazard stripes on it or something. I'm not going to though. My excuse is that I'm going mostly for like, I mean, I'm like going using the anime colors as a reference, but in terms of how I'm picking out the colors now, I'm just going by what I think looks good with the details on the model. But I think, you know, anyone who's seen Iron-Blooded Orphans looking at this, glancing at this from across the room will be able to identify it right away. Sorry, these nooks and crannies aren't the easiest to show off to the camera on stream right now. Yeah, this larger brush is about just as effective as the smaller brush at getting those details in, just because the tip is about the same quality. Yeah, this paint's going on a little thick and chunky, but it's just free weathering and texture, you know? It goes along with the dry brushing texture. Okay, there might be a couple nooks and crannies I missed in there, but with how far into the crevasse they are, you might never see them. You're watching Bleach, Season 1 of Attack on Titan, and then Hobby Seed, or Gundam Seed during hobby time. Very nice. Castlevania was amazing. Need to watch the new Castlevania series still. And hello, the Highlander. It is morning for me, so I'm assuming it's evening for you. That's the thing with when I do the morning streams. I'm like, maybe a lot of the usual people won't be able to turn in, but the people who usually can't turn into the evening live streams can. So the current, I haven't fully decided yet, but tomorrow I'm gonna do another morning stream, and then Friday is the next day I can stream, and I'll probably do an evening stream then. So I don't want to fully exclude the other watchers. Okay, oh yeah, this is the part I missed. I gotta do the inside circle here. Okay, I got some paint on the glove there. Gotta make sure I don't accidentally transfer it. Okay, now gotta figure out what the other details I want to pick out, what the metallics are. Like this, this step up to the cockpit part, I don't know what you call it, a step ladder. Yeah, and I guess these little bits off the side here, I have no idea what they are. But I'm gonna give them some color separation. I guess they kind of look like headlights to me, perhaps. Probably need to check out a reference photo for that. I made a tiny mistake and got a bit of metallic paint on the tan bit there. Could paint these little blocky sections up here with the metallic, but I think I'm just gonna do this cylindrical bit. I don't want to go too ham on the color separation. It might look too busy then. Yeah, and this like kind of windshield bit there, I might be wanting to look at a reference photo for that too, to decide what color to paint it. Well, we can paint these antenna-like things, the metallic color. I'm good with that. Let's see, I think this entire like kind of mounting point for the guns would look decent in a metallic color. Any specific weathering I'm gonna apply? I was thinking about maybe, well, actually I don't have a gray pigment powder. I think the only weathering I'm gonna go for is just like the slightly weathered look you get from dry brushing. That's probably a decision I'll make the final call with when I'm, once I'm done figuring out all the color block and color separation. If I am doing any weathering, it's gonna be pretty minimal. Nothing like super fancy like the hairspray technique or anything. I'm not, I don't usually do a ton of weathering. So when I do, I keep the techniques fairly basic. And you know, with a lot of my hand painted gunpla, I don't want any weathering at all because I'm going for like the either super edge highlighted or like super filigreed free-handed look. Which like that has enough going on in itself, it doesn't need weathering, in my opinion. Not that I don't like weathering though. The first gunpla kit I ever painted, I did some weathering now that I remember it. I don't want to cake too much paint on the area where the gun's going to actually mount on, because, you know, that's plastic that's going to rub against each other. Yeah, this this dark iron metallic paint is going on pretty streaky, so there's a bit of a weathered look almost right there. That's the excuse I'm giving anyways. Excuse me. Alright, how's that overall color separation looking? Not too bad. I don't know if there are many other areas I want to pick out. Probably like just a few bits like deep in the crevices here. So be getting some more, just a bit more color separation from like those headlights we determined a moment ago. I'm thinking like maybe I could do something here. Oops, I got a bit of paint there. Okay, I was able to rub it off. Alright, just give me a moment as I decide on whether I want to apply any more dark iron. Yeah, I feel like that's a I should paint this like a windshield color, which is gonna be a bit of a pain to get onto, but I'm gonna do it. Well, I think for now we'll stop with the dark iron. I'm gonna do a bit of a janky highlight on it with the mithril silver. And I'll probably switch to the minifigs for a bit. Now this is a pretty bright silver. Just been diluted over the years as I've had to rehydrate it, so we are mixing it with the dark iron. And this, what I have, this is a bit of an experiment, but I'm gonna go with like, try and stipple it a bit and see how that goes as a highlight. And then we'll be drenching pretty much the entire diorama in some wash once all the base coats are done, but of course. Yeah, this is definitely gonna give it a bit of a weathered look. The weathered, beaten up metal look is fitting for an Iron-Blooded Orphans mobile worker, so. Yeah, the more I paint this, the more I'm like, oh, I really didn't have a plan going in with this. I'm really just winging it, but, you know, that's somewhat on brand for me. Never done a project like this before, so I might as well wing it. Hopefully I've been keeping it in frame and in focus for y'all watching. Time to mix some more paint. Good point, Iron Elemental, yeah. And sometimes I make a very meticulous plan and then I pivot mid-painting anyways. I feel like when it comes to painting the minifigures, I might have to break out the fancy brushes with the extra fine tips. No, it's not quite bright enough yet. Trying to get the exact level of brush moistness in there. Not too wet, not too dry. How many of you watching are miniature wargaming people versus people more from the gunpla modeler side of things? Just out of curiosity, I always like to know. And if you are more of a gunpla scale modeling person, did you watch my latest video that was like heavily focused on miniature wargaming? Because if you didn't watch it because it's not in your interests, I understand. I know a decent amount of people watch the channel are pretty open-minded about seeing the different sides of the hobby that I explore. That's what's fun about this mini diorama project, is it's like gunpla models, but it's also on a miniature Warhammer base, so it's kind of like a hybrid project. Can't see myself using this for any miniature war games really, but that's alright. This is always meant to be just a little fun casual display piece. Got a pretty casual approach to painting it, which was the idea, because this is like my little in-between project before I get back to painting some Conquest minis. The next video won't be focused on Conquest like the last one. The next video is going to be about how to pick colors and decide on custom color schemes for any model, so it'll have miniatures and gunpla in it. Yeah, this dry brushing's a little streaky, but yeah, casual project, so it's cool. Eldari and Tyranids, nice. A Zerg Protoss Starcraft diorama, that's fun. Yeah, comparing Games Workshop kits to gunpla is always a trip. It's like the Games Workshop stuff has like a lot more fine detail and like impressive bits in that way, but when you compare the like plastic to dollar value, it's not great for Games Workshop. But the gunpla models versus the Warhammer models are fairly different types of models at the end of the day, so you can only compare them so much, and they are like, you know, different hobbies at the end of the day too. But there's a lot of crossover between them. I do not buy that many. I'm trying to remember when the last like new Games Workshop model I bought was, and it's been a while. I might have not bought an actual new Games Workshop kit since 2021, now that I think of it. Alright, how are we feeling about this level of color separation, people? Oh yeah, I'll give the tires a quick coat of black paint right now. Iron Elemental rolled from Wargaming into Gunpla. It's the opposite of me. Nice. Battletech's underrated. Something I've learned thanks to Country Fried Minis. Zimmer started with scale modeling military aircraft in high school. Nice. That was... I got introduced to the modeling hobby through that stuff. More Battletech, nice. Warhammer purely for the lore, Highlander. Yep, that Warhammer lore keeps me interested as well. Yeah, it's good to keep yourself challenged by just trying out different things in general. Yeah, Brady, it is a little lame that they that they paywall the Orga behind like an expensive P Bandai expansion kit. If you have the Master Grade Barbatos though, the P Bandai expansion kit is pretty worth it, I'd say. Like I don't buy P Bandai stuff that often, but the Iron Blooded Orphans or the Master Grade Barbatos P Bandai kit's pretty fun because you get like a ton of different. It's just like a really fun Barbatos accessory kit, but you can like really change up the look of your Barbatos with it. Plus you get this mobile worker and the Orga figure. Okay, I'm just gonna paint the tires black on this real quick, and then we're gonna pull up some reference photos for the minifigures, and that's probably what we'll do for the rest of the stream. Probably go for at least 20 more minutes. After painting these tires though, I think I will take a quick bathroom break. Yeah, that's right, Iron Elemental. Thank you for justifying my messy paint job. Not that you ever need justification. Yeah, I think when I'm at the point, the like washing stage, I'll probably have this mobile worker glued down to the base. There's pros and cons to gluing it down, but I think I should probably glue it down to avoid too much like handling after the wash has been applied. That's something that'll happen off stream probably. Assuming I'm streaming work on this again tomorrow morning, this will probably be finished after 2 streams. All right. Well, before I take a bathroom break, let me just grab a reference photos. Let's say Google Mikazuki Orga and see what happens. It's like I'm sure there's a picture out there somewhere that is just like them posing like they are in the figures. I guess that's like this probably recreating a pose from one of the OPs, if I remember. Seeing a lot of anime figures in this Google search. Okay, so they got like grayish pants, green jacket. Is Orca wearing his? Yeah, I guess it's later on in the series he's wearing like a blazer, but in this one he's wearing his coat. Mikazuki's got a blue shirt underneath. Okay, I'll start with just some green and gray. But I'm gonna use the washroom quickly, so let's put up the holding screen and I will be back in 5 minutes, we'll say. Okay, I'm back. The paint chips on a Dutch military car, you see the crude brush marks, a slightly off-color paint to cover that up again? Yeah, I can imagine what you're describing there. Okay. Let's see, what brushes do I have on hand here? Any of them have a good enough tip that I could use? No, there's... or at least the initial base coats, yeah? Okay. Got gray and a green paint back over here. Y'all could see my custom Conk Zero shorts. Yeah, we got from our Conquest colors. You probably would have seen in the last video. We got yellow olive, I believe this, yellow oliva, and field blue. So the pants and the jacket. So we'll start with the pants. Maybe I'll mix in a tiny bit of the black that's on the palette here. Hello, Ghetto Jet Racing. Welcome. Alright, let's paint these tiny, tiny pants. Maybe this isn't quite the shade of blue that I'm seeing in my reference photo here, but I think it's good enough. I was describing earlier how I'm not going for like exact anime accurate colors or anything like that. Going for like anime-ish colors. And if you're wondering why they have the really dusty look, it's because I did a very poorly executed zenithal highlight. It's more like I was spraying gray onto the rocks because they were base coated black, and then it's like, oh well, it's also, I also get like a freebie zenithal highlight from this for the minifigures, but the paint I'm applying is too opaque for it to really show through anyways. You know how it is with me and airbrushing. I don't try very hard because I don't like it. I put the effort in when it comes to the brush. All right, now for this army green color. Reference photo again. Yeah, Mikazuki's got a... Might make sense to do this first. He's got a blue shirt, but it's not really... Yeah, the mini's so tiny, you won't really see the blue shirt underneath. You will see a bit of Orga's, but Orga's got the red scarf. It'll be fun mixing a shade for Orga's off-white, gray-purple hair. Mikazuki's skin is slightly lighter than Orga's as well. Okay, now that we're applying some green, they'll really start to pop out a bit more. Yeah, the jackets they're wearing are the same color, but they are like kind of different jackets. Like not just in size. You know, Mikazuki should be wearing a small size jacket, but he's wearing like a large or an extra large, and Orga's like just barely fits. Or I suppose it properly fits, you could say. Yeah, and the inside bits of Mikazuki's jacket are like off yellow, tan, khaki-ish. Then the inside of Orga's is kind of like a red-orange. Hopefully camera is staying in focus and picking up these little details for you to see. It's hard enough to keep it in focus when you're painting a mini, and these are like tinier than that. And both of them have black boots. Should probably use the black that's on the palette already for that. So we'll do that next. It's probably time to switch to a pointier brush though. Alright, let's paint some teeny tiny booties. That would sound bad out of context. Oh, I made a mistake already. We'll just have to fix that after. It's hard to tell where Mikazuki's boots end and his pants begin, actually. With Orga's, it's a bit easier to tell because his clothes are properly fitted, unlike our short king Mikazuki. Does anyone else have raise your flag stuck in your head? Because I do. OP songs aside, the Iron-Blooded Orphans soundtrack is pretty decent. I've got that on one of my playlists. I have a playlist of like instrumental music for when I need to, you know, sometimes when you're doing work you can listen to music with lyrics, but you know, if you need to be like writing an email or something, then the lyrics are distracting. So I got a playlist of instrumental music, and there are plenty of anime soundtracks on there. Alright, let's grab like a burgundy color for Orga's scarf. Got ourselves good old P3 Sanguine base. Only need a tiny bit of this. Yeah. And yeah, because I probably should have done this before the green, I'm gonna kind of just splotch it on there and then I'll tidy up the green after. And probably a similar story for the skin. Yeah, there's that fancy red scarf. Should have gotten the flesh color. Okay, well we got pale flesh here, so let's look at that reference photo again. Orga's flesh is a little bit darker, so we'll try straight up pale flesh for Mikazuki, and then I'll add something to it for Orga. His other hand is just fully in his pocket, so no flesh to paint there. Alright, well, the snakebite leather is right here, so let's see how it looks if I just use that to darken the flesh for Orga a bit. Let's see how that looks. That's not too bad. Let's add a bit more of the flesh back in though. Maybe that's not quite dark enough. Suppose I could use two different washes for them as well. Probably leave it for now. Yeah, they do look fairly different now that they're next to each other. Yeah, and Orga's hair color is pretty odd too. It's like white. It's like a very light mauve. But before we do that, I'll just I got some black on the palette, so I will paint Mikazuki's hair real quick. Oh, we're past the 2-hour mark. I think I'll probably wrap up the stream after I'm done base coating these minifigs here. And then I'll do another stream tomorrow morning where I should be able to finish it up, or at least almost finish it. I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably finish it off camera today. Probably won't do that though. Probably save it for tomorrow and get other work done today. But if I do finish this today, I'll still do a stream tomorrow morning anyways. It'll probably just be some back to some conquest, but it'll be 100 kingdoms instead of spires. Because we painted a lot of spires this fall. We'll get back to finishing the Spires army in 2024. Alright, Mikazuki's got his jet black locks painted there. Oh, back to anime for a second. Me and my friend started watching the Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix last week. Just watched the first episode and it was very good. Recommend. Okay, just grab a mauve. Thought I had a mauve. Well, continuing on the train of old GW paints, this one's not as old. Obviously, I mean, I've had this pot for a while, but it's not like an old school paint, so I think we're just gonna mix this with some white and see how that goes. Just use the last dregs of white from this. Even then, that's too purple. We need more white. If I can get any more out of this bottle. Maybe I'll just take the nozzle off. That's what you gotta do sometimes. Just extract the white. Or scoop it out. If this is too white, I'll apply it and then just add some washes afterwards to get the desired look. Hello, Caleb. Thanks for coming. Okay. Kind of hard to tell where the hair is and the face begins. I'm pretty close with the hair color there, I think. Pretty close to where I need to end up. So. Oh, sorry, camera's not in focus there. Alright, well now that there's base colors on these minifigs, they're looking pretty good already, I think. And I feel like I got the different skin tones fairly accurate. Oh, Caleb, you haven't been on a stream since the burp counter. Yeah, I finally made a burp counter. I've been drinking coffee in this morning stream though, so there haven't been any burps, unfortunately. Well, let's just, for funsies, get this on here. Give you all a look at how we're doing so far. I think it's looking pretty good. I think that's all the painting work I'm gonna do for this morning's streams. Apologies again for sleeping through my alarms. I will do my best to make sure that doesn't happen tomorrow. So yeah, stream schedule for this week. Planning on doing another stream tomorrow morning. Then I'll be doing a stream on Friday. It's the next available day. I haven't decided whether it'll be a morning or an evening stream. Leaning towards doing evening, just so there can be some evening streams and some morning streams throughout the week. And yeah, with how the progress went during this stream, it feels like there'll be just one more stream session with this mini diorama, and then it'll be finished. And then the rest of the streams for the year will probably be just conquest painting, and then maybe when I need a break from that, I'll do a gunpla build or something for fun. I'm pretty stoked with how this is turning out though, after a quick 2 hours of work. What do y'all think? I'll show you the guns. All we did on the guns this stream was a bit of dry brushing. I might have dry brushed a bit too aggressively. Maybe I'll do some touch-up work on these off camera. So yeah, I'll give just a couple more minutes before I close down the stream in case anyone has any questions or anything like that. But I appreciate everyone coming by. And I hope to see you for the next stream, of course. I guess to give a quick preview of plans for the rest of the year. Don't think I'll be getting any videos out this month, just because of the way life's going. But I'm hoping to be keeping up the regular streams. Had to stop streaming for a bit to get the Conquest video edited, and I was also doing a community event that I was organizing that took a bunch of time, but that's over now. And we got lots of painting to do for the next video, which is all about selecting colors for models. So there'll be a bit of gunpla and some minis in that video. Oh, and if anyone was If anyone watched the stream I did with Fiverr on Friday that I was building some retro or old school models in, I built the no-grade Dragon Gundam pretty quickly, and then I moved on to the Hama. The Dragon Gundam was from 1994, so it went together pretty quick. The Hama is from 1986, so if you're watching me assembling in that stream, I was kind of like, well, things just aren't going together, and I like finished clipping out the parts off stream just to kind of assess the situation, and was like, oh, okay, this like model definitely needs to go together with glue. So it wasn't quite the like casual stream building model I thought it could be, but you know, it's not that surprising with it being from 1986. So that's just sitting in a box now. I'm sure I'll do something with it someday, because it's a pretty glorious model from 1986, but it's the kind of model that needs a lot of like, it's gonna be the one where I'll have to like fully sand the pieces and then glue them together, and like have to strategically decide like how I'm gonna pose it and paint it. Like I could paint it in a way where it's like articulated, or I could give it the Gamma Wolves treatment, put on a base and all that. But that was just a model I wanted to build casually for this stream, so there's no like immediate plans for it or anything. There's actually a decent amount of other models ahead of it on the pipeline. But it was fun opening up that old school model and checking out those ancient runners. Okay, well, I think that's been enough of a window to get any last messages in, so stay tuned on my social media. I'll tonight or this afternoon be posting about what the next stream's gonna be. It should be tomorrow morning. So thanks to everyone who came and watched this stream. Sorry again for being a bit late, and I'll